Hi.
Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing?
Please welcome our special guest, Carrie.
Yes, yes, yes. And there is Ola Joe.
Thank
How
you
are
for
you,
having me.
sweetheart?
Hey, everyone. I hope you have had a wonderful week,
Yes.
great weekend. I definitely have. It is
Mm-hmm.
currently 68 degrees or 20 degrees Celsius
Woo.
where I
Wow.
am.
Well,
And it's been sunny.
it is very sunny here. A little humid, but it is already, folks, 97 degrees.
Ugh.
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
It's 60, it's 63 here and very windy.
I
Uh,
would be melting. Hello, beautiful Andrea.
Hello, Andrea. Thank you so much for joining us. And you're the first one in, so we do appreciate your early squirrel raid. Really do.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Laura.
And there's my little Laura. How are you doing, sweetie? And
And Jen.
Hi,
Amy.
Laura.
And Carrie.
Jerry. Very nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And there's DK Jen. That's okay, sweetheart. I just appreciate you letting us know.
You do what you got to do.
That's right.
It is so good to see all of you. And
Yes.
please welcome Carrie as our special guest today. It is so good to see
Hello.
everyone. But I am having a wonderful day. I'm getting to be a little under the weather. My husband
Mm-hmm.
is very sick, and I think he's passing it to me. Not real happy about that, but he is very, very sick. So
Yeah,
say a little prayer for Joey if you would. Um,
most definitely.
don't like him being sick like this. So
Well, no,
not good.
because if you're like me, I would much rather be sick than for my hubby to be sick because
Yeah,
there is no bigger baby in the world.
exactly.
Just saying.
No, and I have been waiting on him hand and foot since
Mm,
he's been sick, until I had to come in here and charge my insulin pump.
right.
And of course, he was whining, you know, thank you. And bless his heart, he deserves to whine. He is so sick.
Aw.
Bless his heart. I mean, he coughs, it racks his whole body.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. That's pretty bad when that happens.
oh, bless him. But yeah, he has bronchitis and a sinus infection. And
Ugh.
I'm really worried that it might turn into pneumonia
Mm,
because he's just so sick.
right.
So please say a prayer for Joey if you guys would.
But they do have him on antibiotics, right? And an
He's on
asthma
antibiotics, prednisone, cough medicine that's not working, and an inhaler.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, cough medicine is doing nothing.
Ah,
Mm-mm. No, he's just oh yeah, and Mucinex too.
mm.
They told him to
Yeah,
take Mucinex.
I can't take the Mucinex. It makes me jittery.
Nothing's doing it to him. He's been sleeping on and off all day, even with
Mm-hmm.
prednisone. And prednisone wires you up. Not him. He's been sleeping on and off. Hello, Leslie and Dawn.
Hello, Leslie and Mima Dawn. Thank y'all for raiding over into here. We do appreciate it.
Yeah, please welcome Carrie as our special guest. But it is good to see you all. We're going to give a few more minutes to allow people to come on over.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been a time, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I worry about it. So,
Right.
But we have homemade soup,
Woo!
which is so good for him. Homemade vegetable soup, which I love. I don't care if I'm
Oh
sick or
yeah.
not, but I love homemade vegetable soup,
Mm-hmm.
and it is so good for him to have that.
Right.
But he doesn't have much of an appetite,
Mm-hmm.
so but at least he's eating some soup. So
Right. And see, for me, it's the, good old standby homemade chicken noodle soup.
yeah,
That's what I like. Yeah. Now I can eat that
he
any day, but when I'm really sick, that's what I want.
well, he's not a fan of soup with noodles.
Oh, I am.
That's not his thing. If I make chicken soup, I have to put like carrots and maybe green beans or peas and stuff in it. He wants like chicken vegetable soup. He
Oh,
doesn't want
okay.
noodles. So I'll cook noodles on the side, and then you'll put your soup over your cooked noodles.
Yeah.
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 But we will have the vegetable soup and cornbread. It's so
Oh,
good.
yes.
Yum.
Oh
My
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 goodness.
blood sugar doesn't like it, but it's good. Well, hello, Granny D, my darling, and
Hello, Granny
Cindy.
D and Cindy. Thank you, Granny D, so much for sending your little squirrels over here to us.
This is for you, Granny D. So we're going to give it one more minute, and then we will go on with our tutorial for today.
Yes. So those of you that are knitters, I really always feel a little bit ashamed of myself because I am a crocheter. I do not knit. But I always feel like that we tend to leave you folks out. And so when we came up with this idea of doing the little cords, for holding our eyeglasses so that we're not always losing them or having to stick them in our t-shirt, as I am wont to do, I told Froggy, I said, well, if we do a crochet one, we also need to do a knit one.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you knitters can do this, but I I really love watching folks knit. I do. I mean, there's just something about watching those needles go back and forth, and what they can do. It's just like watching people that do Tunisian tutorials. I love watching doing that. Those that paint and sketch and draw. I mean, I love watching that. So, like I said, I know you knitters, you probably have this down, but that's okay because we are all going to have an opportunity to watch Froggy do this with us.
Well, you're going to be bored. So.
Oh, no, we're not. No, we're not. Well, Cindy, tell your sister we all say hi to her, and we are so happy that you are here with us.
Well, you're
Beginner
going to get
friendly?
bored.
Well, I hope so because Froggy, she says that she's new to knitting, so be sure and make it
Oh,
beginner friendly.
very beginner friendly. You are going to be very bored watching me. I'm just letting you know. And I'm going to solo. And I'm so sorry if you get bored watching this. So, first thing I'm going to do is move my mouse out of the way. Here's my hand. You just started yourself. Okay.
Oh,
I'm going
Carrie,
to
that's awesome.
I am going to bore you and I apologize if you get bored. So, I'm moving my ring light around. Ugh, got to bring it down so it's not in my eyes. All right.
Carrie, I have too. I have been a crocheter ever since I was about 12, 13 years of age. But, and I did try to learn to knit, but Granny decided that that was too many things going on for my hands at one time. So I stopped.
All right. So, I'm using a 3-weight yarn. These are what they call number 4 knitting needles or 325, 3.25 millimeter. As you can tell, these are really beat up.
They're
Basically,
not beat up. They're very well loved.
I'm using needles that correspond to the yarn is what I'm doing. So whatever you want. Now, you don't have to use double pointed needles, as I will show you as we go throughout the project. Okay? Because you can also, I'm trying to keep my phone from falling. Hang on. because you can also use these.
Oh,
These, these will work for this project. These will work.
I'll be.
These are really easy to do this project with, and I'll switch back and forth between these and the double pointed, and so can circular needles. So what I'm going to do is a very simple cast on. So I made a slip knot. Now I knit continental. I do not knit English.
Okay.
And I'm not going to do some fancy cast on thing. All I'm doing is some very simple cast on. You like your Addy Trio, Sam? I do too. Sam
Hello,
will.
Sam, sweetie. Thank you for joining us.
Sam is a knitter. Sam knows what I'm going to do. So I am going to go in the loop. I am a blind woman who is knitting. So I'm going in the loop. I wrap the yarn around and I'm trying not to get out of camera. Going in the loop, wrapping the yarn around, pulling it back through the loop. Yeah, when you do this on camera, it's really weird. So I pulled that loop through that one, and then I'm going to put it on this needle. Now I have two loops on my knitting needle, two
Okay.
loops. And now notice I left my needle in there. I'm going to wrap it around, and I'm going to pull a loop through again. I keep forgetting. And then I'm going to put my loop on my needle. I have three loops. Whoop-de-doo. And then I still have my needle inside that loop. Wrap the yarn around it, wrap the yarn around it, and pull it through. You see? I pulled it through.
Yeah.
And then I turned around and I put it on this needle. Now I have four loops. See, isn't that cool? Four loops.
So I noticed you just took your needle out. You're just going to
Mhm.
slip it back in that last loop?
If I have to, but I only
Okay.
need for what I'm doing today. I only need four loops.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, see, and then I'm
Okay.
gonna pull the yarn. I'm gonna go and slide it down. We're gonna slide down our needle. We don't want to slide off the needle. I think I just slid off. And then we're going to turn. I'm going to bring our yarn in the back. And see how the yarn's coming across the front? That's what it's supposed to do. And now we're
Okay.
going to knit. We're going to go in the first loop.
Granny D says I-cord is fun to knit or crochet.
Now we go in the first loop. We yarn over and we pull up a loop. And then we take this loop off our needle.
Okay.
So we have one. And
Out of
then we go
camera.
in the next loop. We go in, we yarn over, we pull up a loop. We yarn over, we pull up a loop, and we take that off. And then we have
Okay.
two
We're
loops.
not seeing you take it off, so you're going to need to. Yeah, maybe that'll work better.
All right, and then we go into the next loop. We yarn over, and we pull up a loop, and we take this loop off this hook, this needle, and we have three loops over here.
Oh,
And then we're gonna put this loop, go in there, yarn over, pull through. There we go. And then because we have to pull the yarn across here to knit, we got to go boom. We do. We have to go all the way down to the other end, bring the yarn across, and then start all over again. Now, this is going to be for that eyeglass cord. This
mm-hmm.
is an eyeglass lanyard. This is going to be hooking it onto that eyeglasses. But now we're going to knit again. And we're going to go in. Make sure I got off on my loops. There you are. We got to go in. We got to pull up a loop. We got to pull it tight. And then we got to go off. We got to go Got to pull that first one really tight. You got to go here, pull off. And then we got to do it again. We got to go in, yarn over, pull off a loop. Then we go in, yarn over, and pull off the loop. Now, I do knit differently than other people. Then we're going to have to pull this across. Go all the way back down. I knit differently than other people, but remember, I don't see my work. So this has to come across. So we
Okay.
have to come down, and we got to do it again. So we're going to go in the first one. And when we do the first stitch, we always got to pull it the tightest. Always have to pull the first one the tightest. And we go off. And then we go into our second, and we yarn over, and we pull that through and off. So we go in the hole, around the bend, and back through the hole, and off the bridge. We go in the hole, around the bend, back through the hole, and off the bridge. And
That's cute.
then we have to go back. Then, if I'm getting out of camera range, just let me know. I'll
I
move
will.
it.
Leslie
we go
says
back.
a simple concept. This is great, Jen.
And see, it's starting to look like knit I-cord,
Yeah.
but it's very little. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Now remember, this has to come across real tight again. This has to come across tight again. All right. Because it's forming the back
Right.
here. So it has to come across tight again. So we got to go back into hole, and we got to wrap it around really tight. And I always take my nail and hold that loop so I don't lose it. So hold it, and then we got to jump off the bridge again. And then we got to do it again. We got to go in the hole, around the bend, back through the hole, and jump off the bridge. No, knitting is so much easier than crocheting. And that's coming from a blind person. Knitting is way easier.
Wow.
Everybody thinks it's so complicated, and it's really not. There's only 2 stitches, knit and purl. This is just knit, and it's what they call I-cord. As Granny D had said earlier. And I can just sit and do this and watch TV. And
well, come back in camera or pull your camera down. There you go.
thank you. And if you pull down on it, you'll see we're getting somewhere.
Right. Sam says, I think there are good and bad with it, Granny D, because all your stitches are on the needle, so you don't have to find them, if that makes sense. Really?
It does.
Well, I would think it'd be easier to feel your stitches with crochet.
It's easy either way. A lot of times it depends on the size of the yarn.
And
That's
probably
why
the stitch, too.
I don't like anything smaller than a 3-weight normally, because it's harder for me to feel it.
Hello,
Now,
Diane. How are you, sweetheart?
hey, Diane. Now, I will work with smaller yarns, but that's much more tedious for me. It just is. Knitting is easier, Granny D, because it's only 2 stitches. That's the only reason why knitting is easier. Crochet, I have to remember more stitches. With crochet, I have to count more. Does that make sense, Granny D?
Hello, Pat, sweetie. How are you doing? I see you just got in from the hospital.
Miss Pat, how you feeling, my honey? Yeah. Does that make sense to you, though, Granny D? The fact that I have to count a lot with knitting, with crochet. I don't count as much with knitting.
She said, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. With knitting, there's not as much counting. I mean, because you don't increase and decrease, but every so often.
Right.
So I am going to just sit here and make this I-cord the whole time. So y'all got questions, ask away.
Diane says she's hanging in there. How about you, Maureen? Oh, knitting is but a dream for me. Is it because you can knit, Diane, or are you like me and it's like on your bucket list of things to do? Because
Knitting
I'll
is
tell
not.
you, it is on my bucket list, but it's kind of like way down there on the list.
I think crocheters are intimidated because they see a lot. See, there's the I cord. They see a lot of knitters throwing English
Mm-hmm.
style,
Right.
and they don't understand. Oh, okay. They don't understand that they can knit continental,
Mm-hmm.
and knitting continental makes it so much easier because
Right.
this is continental. It's completely in my left.
Right.
I am not a thrower.
Mm. Diane says
Or
it's on the top of her bucket list, and come on. Oh, let's see. Carrie says, so what are we making right now is like the part that goes on top of a sock.
no, this is a lanyard to put on your glasses.
Granny D says, hey, if y'all know if I can knit, y'all can.
There you go. You found your needles. Does that count? No, ma'am.
I'm right there with you, Diane.
No, it does not count. If this blind woman can knit, by God, y'all can knit.
Leslie says, right. I tried both before she did a washcloth.
I can do that too. I mean, can be done. It can be done. It's just you have to have the patience to sit down and actually try it. I love the way the I cord looks.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
You're a thrower.
yeah.
Oh wow. I love continental. I cannot throw. I can't tension the yarn in my left hand.
Oh, wow. Sam
And in
says,
my
no,
right.
I'm a thrower, but in my beginner tutorials, I do show how to do the continental, but I believe it is easier. Hello, Mama Gwen, sweetheart. How are you doing?
Hey Gwen, I can't tension the yarn with the opposite hand. I have to tension
Oh,
the way I tension in crochet.
and there's our Gwen. How are you, sweetie?
Hey, thank you for coming in your multiple personalities, Gwen. Sometimes you're a flicker.
Mm,
The only issue I'm having doing this is my left hand. I haven't been knitting in a while,
ah.
and my arthritis in my left hand is going, quit, quit.
Diane says, thrower, flicker, all foreign to me.
I would like to learn Portuguese knitting. That's where it's tensioned by a pin that you wear, and you don't have to worry about it with your left hand.
Oh,
I would love to learn that. Um,
Granny
but
D
I
says,
love it.
hey, Amy, I'm an English thrower also. I wish I could retrain myself to knit continental style because it's more efficient, therefore faster. Huh.
Yes, you see, it is more efficient because I'm literally knitting like right here. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
bringing the yarn way over from my right hand. It's like right here.
Right.
That's why this is considered more efficient. Sorry, I didn't know I was out of it. I would
Mm-hmm.
like to learn Portuguese. Hey, Rita.
Hello, my little Rita. How are you doing? Sam says, yes, a lot of people look at me and wonder why I don't continental when I also crochet. But I had two different teachers and that didn't help.
You know, I'm going to make you laugh, Sam. I took two different classes to learn to knit, and they both gave up on me, trying to teach me to throw.
Huh.
They both of them gave up on me, and said that I was unteachable. I thought that was very funny. I ended up learning by watching Knitting Daily on television, and our TV cable company finally came out with a way to slow-mo it. And
Oh,
I watched Knitting Daily, and there was a lady on there named Zhang, Uni Zhang, who knitted Continental and crocheted. And I slow-moed watching her knit Continental. And that's how
wow.
I learned.
Rita, that's so awesome. She said she's had an okay day. It's been so nice with the weather out today. Her mom is down, so now she can take a little rest. She's sitting down and knitting on some socks.
Nice. Rita does beautiful socks.
Yes, she does. Diane says, I'm determined to learn. I may check Michael's and see if they have a class.
They usually do. My classes I took were at Michael's. But see if they'll teach you Continental and not just English.
Right.
Now you want to do some knitting. You got blankets you got to make there,
Yep.
sweetheart.
Yep.
Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't take long to get some length on I-cord. I mean, granted,
Mhm.
I'm not a fast knitter, but I-cord doesn't take long to get length on it. Now I'm not fast. It takes me a while. I've
Right.
made lots of socks. Carrie, I've got about 50 pair of knit socks. I'm not
Wow.
bragging. I'm just saying I have about 50 pair. But that's because I got on this kick about knitting socks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was knitting them one at a time. Then I learned I could knit two at a time. And boy, was I knitting socks.
Well, especially since you wear socks all the time.
I wear socks constantly. But
Yeah.
I was knitting me some socks. I love hand knit socks, though.
Right.
They're my favorite. But I'm learning now. Well, I did a pattern to crochet socks that I'm going to do. Um, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. It won't have the same feel as knit socks, but I think
Right.
it's going to be just as neat to crochet them.
Ooh. Granny D says maybe Jen can teach me in September at the cabin. I'm so excited.
Absolutely, Granny D.
Well,
Um,
sitting here remembering back of Granny trying to teach me um, how to knit, I guess she was English style because, she was a thrower. And yeah, I kept throwing the wrong thing.
no, it's not. It's really not hard. I tension the yarn in my left hand, and then everything else is the same. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only difference. Um, but when I go to purl, Granny D, it's way different than most
Right.
people. I'm going to show her something. Okay, when I go to purl, Granny D, obviously you go like this, but I bring my thumb forward in order to purl. That's how I purl. Thumb comes down with the yarn to purl. That's purling for me. I bring the thumb down and then I purl. So that's how I do that. That's just to show Granny D how I do it. Because it's different than, then I would take and bring it forward. Come on, yarn. And then I'd go in the thing using my thumb. Come on, using my thumb, and then I would purl. Then I would purl. But I use my thumb to move the yarn around. I'm not doing it because this is all knit. I
Well,
need
I
to do
bet
it.
we can make that happen, Carrie. She says, I would love if she could teach us how to knit on here. She means TFF, a pair of socks.
Oh, sure. It would take more than one episode, but yes, we
Oh,
could do that.
yes, we certainly can.
Absolutely, Rita. I think knitting is easier than crocheting. I do. There's only 2 stitches, guys, and it's the order you put them in, and whether or not you yarn over before or after the stitch,
Hmm.
because that'll put a hole in the work. If you yarn over, it puts a
Right.
hole in it. I think Rita needs to do some tutorials myself. You put the yarn the other way when you purl, but if you have to purl a whole new row, I often knit back instead. A lot of people will knit backwards, I have not done that. I probably should. Anytime I'm knitting backwards, I'm undoing my work.
Oh no.
Knitting backwards is called kinking, and it's literally the word knit backwards.
Huh.
And yeah, that's what we do when we undo our work. Yeah, I haven't learned to do that. I need to learn to do that so I don't have to purl. But I use my thumb to bring my yarn forward. It's just another way to do it. Use both thumbs to purl.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I don't do what a lot of other people do. A thrower, the yarn's down there. A thrower puts their needle in, picks up the see as you can see I struggle. Puts their needle in, wraps the yarn around, and then brings the needle through. You see? And then they go in and they wrap the yarn around
Yes.
and then they bring the needle through. And I struggle doing this, as you can tell. Whereas this is easier for me and I'm much faster. So I do prefer that. Oop, that loop didn't come on. But yeah, I would prefer this over anything else. Just, yeah, Continental's the way for me.
Okay,
But
so but when you make a mistake,
yes,
do you rip it out just like you would in?
pretty much.
Okay.
Um, when I make a mistake, I don't do it that way. Hang on, I got a loop that fell. I gotta pick it up. I don't do it that way, like you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I knit backwards. So hang on, I'm picking up my loop that I dropped, which is terribly hard for me to see. All right, hang on.
Sam says it's very simple. It's a lot easier to knit backwards than to crochet backwards.
Yep, that
No,
is true.
I don't know what is so hard about crocheting backwards. I mean,
Okay,
I find it quite easy
Yeah, there's a
myself.
lot of people fun.
Mm-hmm.
okay. All right. Let me get to a spot where I can knit it backwards.
Okay. For those of you that have come in just the last 10 minutes or so, Carrie is here with us today. She's our special guest, and she's down in the basement with me at the moment.
Hi, everybody. Yeah. We're playing cards.
They're playing cards in the basement, having cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not allowed to have any right now. Okay, so if I wanted to knit this backwards,
Right.
I'm gonna go in the loop, this loop, and then I'm gonna pull it out. There's one. I'm gonna go in the loop below the row below. There's a loop. I go in that loop, that row below. I have to find it, and then I unknit it. That's called tinking. And then I go in this one, and I unknit it, and then I have to go into this loop, the row below, and I unknit it. That's knitting backwards.
Okay.
No strip poker, Carrie.
Rita says,
Now,
I'm a margarita.
now their knitting backwards they're talking about is
All the
different.
fun.
Their knitting backwards has to do with turning the work and knitting backwards
Oh, okay.
because it's a different way to purl. That's what they're talking about. Blueberry liqueur from Finland. That sounds delicious. No, I don't want to lose a stitch. The loop didn't come down. Hang on. No, it's just a way to do it so that if you messed up, you can knit it backwards and fix it.
Gotcha.
That's all. Yeah, sometimes we have to knit backwards and fix what we did. Just like I'm going to have to do right now. I just I go to fix something and then I dropped it.
Yeah. Mama Gwen was saying so you don't lose a stitch.
Yeah, I just dropped one, and I'm trying to pick it back up. See, when you're blind and you do this, it's really, really irritating because you cannot see exactly what you did because everything's blurred.
Right.
So my iCord will have mistakes in it, but I don't really care. I don't really care. Yeah, a margarita. I wouldn't mind a lime margarita. But yeah, this is not too bad. I don't mind doing this. But you're going to do this for however long you want it. You can make it 24 inches, which is the average I cords. I'm not going to make the 24-inch mark, um, but that's okay.
No, we just appreciate you. Hello, Susan. How are you doing?
Hey, Susan.
Hi,
Froggy
Susan.
is showing us how to knit an I-cord.
Hi.
Oh, Gwen, I am so proud of you. In 6 days, I will be 5 years, 6 months clean and sober. What a milestone for you,
Congratulations.
sweetheart.
So
Congratulations.
now you can see how much it's grown because it's not, I mean, it won't even, there we go. It's really grown. So it's really growing. I'm going to keep doing it for a little bit longer. Actually, I'm going to make a whole long one, to be honest with you. I'm going to show you how to tie on the end
Mm-hmm.
to one end of it. And I'm going to keep knitting on it. Even if it ain't perfect, it's still mine.
I was going to say, I
It
think it's
ain't perfect,
fantastic
but it's
that you
mine.
can,
So,
that you've
well,
been able to adapt
well,
and figure out a way where you can still enjoy crocheting and knitting.
oh, I love doing it. It makes me feel good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for me.
Right.
So I don't mind that, um, if that makes sense to
Right.
everyone. Um, it's for Froggy, so Froggy doesn't care that it's not perfect. So give me a second. I'm just looking for. I don't want a sewing needle, but what did I look what I pulled out? Sewing needle. I don't even know why that's in there. Sewing needles. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So bear with me while I find a tapestry. That's a sewing needle thing too. I don't want a sewing needle. Where is a tapestry needle? So has anybody crocheted the lanyard for their glasses? I'm
Not
just
yet. Not yet. I've been working all week on a mosaic blanket that I'm trying to finish up this next section on.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really that. And I made a trip to Hobby Lobby so that I could get yarn to start on my Hearts on Fiber contest project.
Nice.
I have all that I need for that ready to
That's
go.
awesome. Aha, I found tapestry needles. Ah, and I just remembered. I promised to show you what it looks like to work with these
Yes.
trios. These are the trios. These are for making socks. I just now remembered I promised that. So let me show you. See, when you're working with needles, you can just grab another needle and work away. Let me get my yarn out. So basically, I just work and start knitting onto the new needle. See? It don't hurt nothing. Just start working on to the new needle. There we go. And then I have to slide it to the other end so I can start doing it again.
And then it'll just slide right over the cord.
It slides right over the cord.
Okay.
And the same thing if you are using a set of circular needles,
Mm-hmm.
and it just slides right over the cord. See, watch. Cord. See, when they're
Okay.
on the cord, they're like loosey goosey,
Okay.
and it goes right back up on the needles, just like that. Yeah, real easy to do. But don't forget, the first stitch is always super tight. You're pulling the back of the I cord closed,
Right.
which is why the first stitch you always pull tight. And see, it was just like that. It's super easy. Um, that was these. Now, Addie calls them trios. These are by Addie. And other, what is the other company call them? Lexi something or whatever. And these are really cool with making socks. Because as you can see in the picture, it does a pair of socks. And this way
Yeah.
you're only using 3 needles instead of multiple needles. So I like these for socks. They're so much easier to use. So I did pull out tapestry needles. So there's one. So let's go ahead and grab another one of these. There.
Rita says Haya Haya has them too, and
Yes.
Timu.
Oh, Timu has them. Nice. So you're going to string this on your needle. And then you're going to want to put it through one of your loops. Bring your loop up really close to your I cord. And then I like to knot it, but that's me. So I find another place on the I cord and I bring it through. And then I knot it. And then I take it through here. And I knot it really good. And I will knot it a couple times because I don't want this to come undone from my eyeglasses. Because if the eyeglasses are stuck on my, are
Yeah.
hanging around my neck, I don't want my eyeglasses to come undone and fall. Even if they were magnifiers, I wouldn't want them to fall and break. So I will do this. And here's another knot. Nice, nice. I love making socks with those. That's why I have that set right there.
That's
I have a
nice, Susan.
I have a set in a set of socks. So there you go. You're just gonna knot it in here, and then you're going to feed it in and out and around your I cord and hide your tail. And you're going to do the same thing with the other end of the I cord, just like that. And I like to feed it back on itself because I'm weird.
Really,
And
it's just gonna depend on how you tie things off.
yeah, it's
But
just
I'm
however
like
you.
you. Mm-hmm.
And I will take a good length of it and just run it down the center of the
Yep.
I cord because it's going right up the I cord. See? And then, I could keep running it through the I cord, but I don't have to. I've knotted it twice, but it's not going anywhere. And see, then the metal piece slides down, and then you put this on your eyeglasses. And now on the other end, I'm going to knit on it a little bit longer, and then I will go ahead and cast off. But I'll
Got
Are
knit
you
a
going to
little.
put
I'm sorry?
Beads? Are you going to put beads
You,
on it?
you could if you wanted to. You could put beads on it. You could knit beads on it. You could put beads on either end of it. It doesn't make, it's whatever you want. Yeah, anything you wanted to do on it, you could. It's your, it's your lanyard for your eyeglasses.
Right.
I'm gonna knit on this for another, I don't know, 7 minutes, and then I'm gonna show you how I cast off. But there's many different cast offs, and there's many different cast ons out there. Um, One person I suggest to watch is Very Pink Knit. She is really good. When I have a knitting question, I go to her. I think she's incredible, but that's just me. And I want to remind everybody about the link pinned at the top of the chat. That is for MDL Crochet's premiere this evening. I want to make sure that you guys can go ahead and make sure you make it to there and see his premiere for tonight. It's only about 6 minutes long, but as long as you guys can make it and watch his premiere would be fantastic. So, who in the chat knows how to knit and who wants to learn how to knit? I'm just curious. I don't know that I'd be a great teacher, but who wants to who knows how to knit and who wants to learn how to knit?
I just went ahead and tagged for those of you that might like to go and check her out. Very Pink Knits that Froggy just mentioned for us. There is a link to her channel, so go and check her out. If
Tell her Froggy,
knitting is something that you would like to do.
yeah, tell her Froggy Went a Knitting sent you. Not that she knows who I am, but tell her Froggy Went a Knitting sent you. I comment on some of her stuff, so
Mm-hmm.
but, tell her I sent you. You know, she's awesome. She does great giveaways. You know how, but you're not well practiced. Well, all you gotta do is pick up some yarn. Hi,
Hello, Jill. How are you doing? She says that she's just now learning how to knit.
oh, nice. That's
Hi, Jill.
wonderful. Well, see, by you letting us know if you're wanting to learn to knit or if you know how to knit, that lets me know whether or not to do knitting projects on TFF. You
Yes.
know how to knit and purl. That's wonderful. That's the basics. That's wonderful. Wow, Rita.
I know. I was just reading her comment.
Rita, that's how long I've been crocheting. Wow. That's amazeballs, Rita.
Rita, you're not getting old. You're becoming seasoned.
Oh, I like that. We could say that. We're seasoned.
Yes.
We're
Uh,
seasoned.
Many of you may know or not know, but my grandson, who just graduated this month from high school, we were talking about something. And I said, well, I've been doing this for so long, and was talking about how old I was and everything. And he came over and he put his arm around me. He says, Grammy, you're not old. You're seasoned.
Oh, wow. I was,
Yeah.
Rita, I was 5 when I learned to crochet. They were trying to find something to make me sit still.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's why they taught me to crochet. My Oma did. Hard to believe, but it worked.
Jill, you say you're not good at the knitting, but I think we're all our own worst critics. So you just may be better than you think you are. And of course,
You're
we all know too that with practice comes, uh,
perfection.
that's right,
Practice
and
makes perfect. And
authority in our craft too.
I mean, come on, there's a boo boo right there.
Mm,
But, do I look like I care? No, I sure don't. I don't care. I don't care. Not really worried about it at all. Not concerned. Don't care what people.
Jill, she says no, I suck.
Nice, Carrie. Susan's been knitting for many years. I love to watch other people knit too, myself.
Yes. And although, like I've said, repeated many times, I am not a knitter, but I sure do love to watch people knit.
And I am not a yarn snob, and I am not a snob knitter. That means I love both knitting and crochet equally. Um, Definitely not a snob. So you wouldn't nag her.
What?
They were trying to get me to settle down.
Right.
So she just sat me down and taught me to crochet. It worked. I never stopped. Been doing it for so long. Hmm. I love it though. It's fun for me.
Amy says, I can knit, but I want to work on continental knitting.
There you go. Just put the yarn in your left hand. Just
Mm-hmm.
tension it the way you would with crochet. Mm. We did all suck at one time. We did. I'm sure I did when I was 5. Although my grandma told me I was wonderful. She told me I was wonderful. I do
Mm-hmm.
remember sitting on the couch with her and her going, 9, 9, 9, 9. Yep.
For those of you that don't know, that means no.
My grandmother was German. She didn't ever said no. Never. She always said 9, 9.
Rita says, nope, not a snob here either. I learned to crochet and repeat patterns at a class I took in 1995 when I moved to a new city.
Yep. Every time I made a mistake, grandma would be going, 9, 9. Yep.
I would say 10.
I
Uh,
didn't. I didn't. I knew what it meant.
Carrie
She'd
says,
speak in German.
I am starting to learn to love knitting now. And now that I am fresh and new at knitting, oh, you just learned this year. Well, that's great.
That's wonderful. All right.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we are going to knit the first stitch, and then we're going to knit the second stitch, and then we are going to reach over here. We're going to pick up this first stitch, and we're going to move it over top of the second stitch, just like that. Then we're going to knit the third stitch. We're going to take the second stitch, pick it up, and move it over top of the third stitch. Not like that, but like this. So you're going to pick it up and move it. Move it over top of that. Then we're going to knit this last stitch, and you're going to pick up this stitch, and you're going to move it over top of the last stitch. There it is. Then
Huh.
you're going to take some scissors, and you're going to cut the yarn, which is awesome. And then you're going to, if you're like me, you'll take put yarn on tapestry needle, and then I take it and I go through that loop, pull an E-lock, and it's done.
Yay.
I'm cast off and everything. And I will go back through the first one just to make it even looking.
Right.
But there it
Susan
is.
said, I learned how to knit from a girl on the school bus when I was 12 and how to crochet from an English teacher in high school. That's awesome, Susan. I'm glad you learned how to do both.
Now it's done. Now it's really short. I couldn't knit it much longer, in this hour, but there it is. And it's done. And you've got yourself an I-cord eyeglass lanyard. See? You can do it. You can do it. Thank you
It's
so
good you already
much.
know how to knit.
Thank you so much, my grenadine. It's not hard to do. It is relatively easy to do. I would
Mm-hmm.
call this a beginner tutorial.
Right.
Hi, Lena.
Hello,
Hey,
Lana. How are you, sweetheart?
so I would call this a beginner's tutorial. I honestly, give it a go. Give it a try. What do you have to lose?
That's right.
You don't have anything to lose to give it a try. Hey, Lana, you didn't say how to carry. Say how to carry. Goodness.
Well, she didn't know Carrie was in here because you were still up
Oh
on screen
my.
and we were just pushing in here. I mean, pulling
No, she
everybody
didn't.
out. So she didn't know.
Okay.
She said,
Well, I
hey.
fussed at her.
Mm,
But it was pretty, I think it's relatively easy to do.
right.
Um, give it a try. Uh, why not? This is a beginner friendly tutorial. Obviously, if you have any problems, let us know. It's not something that we would write up, just so you know.
Right.
I know you didn't know because you didn't see her. I'm sorry, Lana. I'm sorry. Mwah.
Yeah,
But yeah, let us know if you have any questions.
that's right.
We will do some more knitting tutorials going forward.
Good. Good, good,
If you
good.
guys are interested in that, we'll do that.
And I'm
And
going to go ahead and jump on out there and say that the next tutorial ought to be a tutorial of knitting socks. What do y'all think?
I think we ought to go easier than socks.
What would be easier then?
A dishcloth.
A dishcloth. Okay.
Let's take baby steps.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Well, so then after the dishcloth, can we do a pair of socks? Leslie says definitely.
I know, Lana, and I'm sorry. Yeah, let's go a little easier first, and we'll work our way to socks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
I'm gonna.
I'm just asking here. Okay, so we're going to do a dishcloth, and then what would come next?
Well, let's wait and see.
Oh, well,
Thank you so much, Cindy. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
thank you very much, Cindy. We do want to remind you, folks, please go and support Michael at MDL Crochet. We did pin up at the top of the chat his premiere tonight
Yes.
for his shawl that he is dedicating to his mother. It's called Ruby's Dream. And throughout the whole month of June, we would like for you to be aware of the fact that it is Dementia Awareness Month, and he is kicking off this month with this shawl that he has created in memory of his mother because she did pass away this very day last year from dementia. Of course, with, from other complications, but still. So
Yes.
please
But
be sure
please,
to go over and support him.
please support him. Definitely, we would really appreciate that. Yes. Oh, yes. We are going to do more knitting. Yes,
Yes.
we will. We will do socks, just not right away. Yeah, not right away, but we will do socks.
I will
Socks.
keep reminding her, though,
I guess
Carrie. I will.
we'll do it.
Socks will take 2 episodes.
No, that's okay.
I'm hoping. Might take 3, but I'm hoping just 2. But we'll do socks.
I need to
Yay.
get needles.
It'll be fun.
Well, Maureen will sit back and read the chat, and y'all can knit.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I enjoy it. Um, I will tell you how to make them wider and longer, depending on your feet.
That'll be nice.
Mhm.
Hi, Ruby.
Hey.
Yeah, Cindy said my grandmother's sister who loves to crochet. Her name is Ruby. Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Lana, I said I was sorry.
Well, folks, I'm going to throw out a few reminders here for you. Tomorrow, I will be going live at my regular time, which is 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, folks. Central Standard Time.
11 Eastern.
11 Eastern. And then on Tuesday, we'll be over at Carrie's playing some bingo. And then Wednesday, we'll be at Carrie's and Froggy's.
Yes,
house.
Rita.
Yes. And then Thursday, we'll be back at my house. Friday next week, I'll have to look at the calendar to see whose house we'll be at for Southern Sisters.
We'll be at your
But,
house for Southern Sisters.
Weren't we just at my house for Southern Sisters?
We're going to
I
have
don't
to switch Friday and Thursday.
You and I
I
are
don't
switching Friday and Thursday? Okay.
I
Okay.
think so. I think I have a spa day.
Okay. Well, that at least gets you through Wednesday, folks.
I don't remember.
But
Yeah,
I do
I
want
have a
to go
spa
ahead.
day on Friday.
Okie dokes. I do want to go ahead and say thank you all so very much for being with us this afternoon. I do hope that you enjoyed the knitting tutorial. Now you have one that you can make if you wish to make your own lanyards, decorate them up however you want to, whether it be knitted or crocheted. Now, next week we will be at Froggy's house, so be sure you look for that notification. And don't know what the topic will be yet, but I'm sure it'll be something that you will enjoy.
It'll be a knitted dishcloth.
Woohoo! Looky there, folks. We're already on a roll, so that'll be awesome.
Yep.
So please, I can't ask you enough to go and support Michael this afternoon, because I'm going to tell you, folks, he's a little nervous. So let's go and support him and let him know that we are there for him. So, Carrie, I'm going to let you start us off.
Hi, Lana. I'll say it again. One random act of kindness can change the world. Love you guys. Take care. Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am. And Froggy?
Stay safe. Be kind to one another in happy yarning.
And folks, always remember, be the light out there in the darkness for someone today, because you never know. Could be your light that they need to see. We love you guys. We'll see you out there on the YouTube streets.